Hello, Sagittarius. How you doing? I'm here with your April 2021 reading. Got a little tongue tied. Um, then again, it's easy for people to think you're about to make a mistake. All these 20s. We just left out of 2020, so. But it rocket. So, this is, did that already come out and say this your astrology and oracle message reading for the month? Now, Sagittarius, what came out for you on the astrology side is the moon. You got the soul card. Now, first of all, it can resonate any way you want to for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's specific for a moon sign, but what I do, it could be more, if anything, it could be specific to a cycle within the moon where Sagittarius might be at in the month of April, and it might be a 10th moon. But mainly what I feel that comes off of it is the moon got the soul card associated with it, right? I feel like you have that transitional energy to poke at a soul. You got the knick-knack for it this month. Or, if you're not aware, it could be the fact that your environment make you feel like people cracking into your soul. It could be different ways. Some people could come with a specific message and they read you and then got you something agitated you that maybe you turned to on the TV. I mean, it's so many different examples of picking at the soul that can come out of this, okay? So just don't limit yourself, and that's why the message resonates. You're going to have whatever pops up for you as I talk that you might seem to be indirect or direct as far as the conversation goes. So the oracle card that came up is the right way. I think learning to create what you desire is a tricky thing, because that right way is, what is a right way? You know, I mean, on some deep thought, what is the right way? That's what I mean, the soul. What is the right way? It's not, I mean, me being a translator, first of all, you're going to get very ambiguous because I don't have a stance in the spiritual world as far as right and wrong. Now, on this planet, because there's things, regulations, legal societies, not even that, just institutions you go to have processes. You know, for example, it's mandates about a mask, and there's choices on the mask. So, you know, the right way, which one is the right way? Now, doing what you desire, maybe you don't want one. But is it going to cause problems because you didn't wear one? Could not. It just depends, right? I noticed that it has caused problems. So that's what I'm saying. It's not something that's easy. It's something that's challenging. It's something that has a complication with it. And it's meant to be there. That contradiction, complication, challenge, whatever obstacle, whatever seems to be the right word that can go with your situation as it unfolds, or are you in the midst of it, is that word, right? So I noticed the first card that came out for you was the Emperor. But the thing is, what came after the Emperor was the Five of Swords. And then the Seven of Pentacles. Then the Wheel of Fortune. Then the Queen of Cups. So, being that the Queen of Cups kind of came to the end, it kind of reminded me of the Moon card and learning to create what you desire. Boom, in the smack of it. The right way seems to be within the Emperor, the Five of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune is basically the way you let it blow. the way that the Emperor, Five of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles come together, because you got to think, you got fire, air, pentacle, and cups with the Wheel of Fortune. So, but it looked like what's turning it going to be the fire, air, and pentacles. The cups is going to come out of it. And that's where that whole big picture. Now, being that I think it's the Queen, it's something that's definitely already, it's going to be in reality form. But you might have a chance to do modifications, especially with the Wheel of Fortune being before the Queen of Cups and not really after the Queen of Cups. Some people might say, well, if it came after, I think I have modifications. Not necessarily, because it's usually fixed energy that turns the Wheel of Fortune. So that's fixed, you know what I'm saying, and it's coming after the Queen of Cups, there's not really a lot of room because it's already there. But being that the Cups is not here in the turning process, you got room for modification, just might not be a lot of room for modification when it comes to whatever the situation is that you might be going through or experiencing, right? So what I mean by that is part of your soul stubborn? I'm pretty sure it is. The origin of your soul is stubborn. I mean, it's fixed inside of you. So it already comes with some element of stubbornness, right? So how much of your soul you know? How much of your soul you don't know? What do you classify knowing your soul? Or what do you classify knowing somebody else's soul? Or what does a soul actually mean to you? What is it? Can you see a soul as a cup? Fire, water, air? Can you see it as all of it? I mean, it just really depends. This is how open and broad this situation is. It's a picking. It's you walking through briar bushes, but it's not something that you maybe cannot avoid. It depends on how you see yourself going through the briar bushes. Are you willing to put on some type of equipment, or even though you got equipment, it might still penetrate other areas that's open? So do you got things that help you remove them if they kind of get stuck in your skin? What is your statuses? And when I'm saying that goes for what is your ABC plan for the month? How much do you got worked out? Are you taking a trip this month? What is your plans on a trip? Did you already put room for complications based on whoever is traveling on the trip with you? And if you did do that, how deep did you go? Did you go so deep that you're going to attract it to you? And it might not would have happened, or it might have happened a different way. Or maybe it's not so intense. Maybe if your reaction don't be because you expected it so much, so your reaction might be more serious. Maybe your reaction need to be calm. Maybe your reaction need to be serious. Maybe it's one that you have to have great temperament with. Even though you don't see temperance, but you see the Emperor. You have a choice on whether you want the Emperor to stay upright or go in reverse. In any of these cards, even the Wheel of Fortune, it's all on your choice when it comes to it. Because it's all about that right way. That's the tricky part. Okay? So there's definitely some trickster energy that's up inside. If you have moments that you don't quite feel comfortable, but you was comfortable in the beginning, but now you're not comfortable. Okay, that's your anxiety, right? So your anxiety is going off for what reason? Could it be going off because you want to avoid a type of situation and not realizing that situation might occur in the environment that you was going to? And because you might already have a situation attached to somebody else that you can't see the situation is about to happen in your environment, and it's not with that person you imagine it, so you're not going to actually be prepared for the situation. Is that good or bad? Is that the right way to be? Can you be creative spontaneously? I mean, those are the questions you have to ask yourself throughout the month of April when you're going through things. I imagine you could have some aha moments, you know, with this type of energy too. So Sagittarius, I'm about to shuffle a deck just in case you one who don't like to hear shuffling. You know, I am just going to get an explanation of why I'm shuffling. Whether that make a difference for you to hear it or not, I don't know. So, you know, I'm shuffling this deck of cards because I'm going to take 2 cards from this deck. One going to be from the top and one is going to be from the bottom. Alright. The top card is to hopefully give us clarity on your inner energy. What are you conscious about, or at least what your environment going to be conscious about you that is coming out, you know, is that radiant aura that you walk with, you know. The one that I'm going to take from the bottom is the shadow card. It could be all about the woman. It could be about something secret that you know about and you think other people don't know about. You know, it's all about that shadow energy. So, you know, when the cards come out, hopefully, you know, I will make it kind of clear whichever way it goes. Alright? So I'm going to shuffle another little deck to clarify these 2 cards that I just got. I have a clarifier for the 6 of Swords, a clarifier for the 6 of Swords. I have one clarifier for the 6 of Swords, please. One clarifier for the 6 of Swords. We have a clarifier for the 3 Cups. One clarifying card for the 3 Cups. The 3 of Cups. Okay, so on the first card of it, we have the 6 of Swords, and that is being clarified with the Hermit card. Okay, sorry. Right. What I feel about this is one thing that is definitely you should be cautious about yourself is your avoidance. How you avoid things. How you feel like you avoid things. How you feel like you dodge them or you don't have to entertain them. Any type of avoidance. You don't feel like dealing with it. You don't feel like processing it. How you know, could be about your memory, what you intake. Whether you might be having some short-term memory issues or something like that. It could play both ways. Meaning, if it's a short-term memory issue, some people might know you have short-term memory. So because they know that, well, if you're a kind-hearted person, they might be able to get a couple of things accomplished because of your short-term memory. Now, if you're expecting things in return, that's a different story. You can't, you know, it's not good or kind of wise to mix things in, because the thing of the return, it already got returned. Meaning, it's kind of the tricky way. And what I'm trying to say, meaning the return came about when they kind of got you and told you so and so and so. You remember when you said such and such and such and all of this good stuff, and you fell for the situation that was the return. So it's not another return. It really, you got to start a different path. You got to do a different design. You can't stay on that same thing to get a return out of the situation after your memory might have caught up, or you realize something, or get into a bigger debate that's not going to go nowhere. It's just time for you to plot. Okay? Plot on the situation to rejuvenate and bring it all back around. You know, what I mean is, you got to go inside of you. You got to go inside. That's that soul searching, right? Of the situation. You have to do a deep research to come up with a new idea to get the return that you want. Now, that's just an example based on somebody that got short-term memory, you know. But either way it goes, it's definitely something that has to do with avoidance. Short-term memory, how to me that relates to avoidance, because first of all, avoidance got a void. So that's a memory that did not stick. What reason did it not stick? Because you didn't think it might be relatable later on in the future. You might have said the statement as a joke. Whatever it was. Maybe it was to teach you, to be a lesson, to help you on the creativity, on being more on your stuff, instead of, you know, if you're a complainer. Instead of complaining all the time about a lot of stuff, you might need to do some things different. It's just different ways of it. So that's the thing of avoidance. It's just the energy itself. The application process just depends. That's why it could be described in many other ways. But just think of avoidance, especially with that Hermit and Six of Swords. Now on the shadow part, we have the Three of Cups, and we have the Page of Cups. And that, you know, because I did see the shadow cards a little bit when I was explaining it in the beginning with the example, right, of you expecting a return, that Three of Cups and that Page of Cups is you know, your emotions invest in the situation, and you feeling like some reparations should be part of it, or something of enjoyment should be in this return process. Something of delightfulness, something that you're going to definitely benefit off. It's, you know, it can seem selfish, especially with the Page of Cups, but maybe it's something that is very a true valid point. Maybe it is something that's rising something up inside of you and letting you know, yeah, you are right about it. Especially when you're talking about having the right way in the moon and the soul. If your soul is sitting here saying, yes, I agree with that. That's why you think I'm sending you those signals. Okay. And that's kind of what it is when I was giving that example. You're going to have those signals, and it's some way down the line you need to understand and create a process to push through this hurdle. You need to get through it. Like I said, it's a little picky and prior, but you can make it through it if you go in there prepared. It's not something that's impossible. It's just something that's very challenging. That's basically it, you know. So, like I say, you can make it through it for sure. Alright? So, good luck to you, Sagittarius, in the month of April. Hopefully, I'll be back around again. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Take care.